With that being said, now let's move on to the academy.
Yeah.
And obviously we did speak a little bit, especially that the first section of this episode we were talking about, Rasmus Holland and Forsen. And I think also during this interview, you also mentioned about the academy, and he had an interview prior to the press conference where they were talking about the academy development and how they get integrated into the first team. And he explained to them that, look, we bring them into training first, and then we assess them in training, with the
Mm,
first team players, and we see
mm,
if they're up to task. And if not, then obviously they get sent back. So it's not just the thing of, it's not like a Rashford situation where they just had to throw him into the first team like that. Like they're really trying to be strategic, with this. And I think they also asked him specifically about Kobe Mainu, and they're like, Did you always know that he was this player? And he said, Look, I managed the first team. You know what I mean? So obviously I did know he had some talent because they communicate with each other. They'll go to the academy section and they'll say, look, are there any prospecting players that you think could make much ways make it into the first team? Yeah, here's one, two, three. Okay, they bring them over. Ten Hag sees them play in training. He sees if they're up to task. Okay, maybe I can integrate you into the team. So there's a process behind it. So I think a lot of people maybe thought or think that Ten Hag is also like monitoring the academy, and I
mm.
think that's a very naive thing. And I like in the press conference, there's some journalists who asked him a question. And it's like that's a very naive way of thinking, and I can attest to that. Because his job is to manage the first team. His job is not to be like manage the first team and then also have time to go to the academy and see what's no, no, no. There's people who are dealing with that. You get what I
They
mean?
relay the
So
information to him.
exactly. So he's just coming in, and then it's a process. You know what I mean? They start off in the academy. When they come to the first team, that's when Ten Hag takes over and then says, "Okay, now you're at this level. I'm going to now work with you to get you to that level." But he doesn't
Mm,
start with them from grassroots, and that's something that people need to understand. These first team managers do not start off. They do not start development of these players from grassroots level. No, that's the responsibility of other people inside the club. So yeah, I guess that's the thing of when they come now. Ten Hag watches them in training and assesses them and says, "Okay, how can I integrate you into the first team? How can I use my what you call this my skills to get you to where you need to be?" So yeah,
mm.
man, that academy development and the first team integration, it was very interesting, word to hear from him. And I don't know, man, what's your take on it? Like, obviously, you spoke a little bit about Forsen, so I think maybe this is an opportunity for you to really expand on that, on the
First,
academy development, and these guys getting integrated into the first team.
first thing, I just want to say, United. This is all about it. Like academy football is part of the DNA of United.
Mm,
Bringing players in from the academy or something, having an eye at those kids is just part and parcel of the Manchester United philosophy. And I like Eric Ten Hag when he says, if you're good enough, you're old enough.
yeah.
Meaning, if you are at the levels, he will find a way. He will put you in the play if you're good enough. And those are kind of qualities that you 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 want from your academy. And I think Manchester United is one academy. Like Manchester United is one club that has
Mm,
really done the business when it comes to academy players coming through the first team and going out there. Like honestly, like I have seen us produce gems and gems and gems. There are some gems that never became football players. That guy who was with Paul Pogba. What's his name? Is it Morris? What's his name?
Morrison,
It's Morrison.
something Morrison. There's also Bebe. There was
Nah,
who
not
else?
Bebe. That Morrison one. That there was one
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
who was
yeah.
tipped to be the future, the like generational talent.
Man,
Unfortunately, life,
there was so many academy boys at that time that were just tipped. That era,
yeah,
there was an era where every academy player was tipped to be. There was that Butler guy who was tipped to be the next Evra. There was Tom Cleverley who was tipped to be the new Beckham. There was Adnan Januzaj who was tipped to be the new Ronaldo. There was, dude, there was a period. We went through a period, fam, where every single academy player
is
was
the
tipped
next
to be the
best thing.
next. Makeda was tipped to with an dude. Like there was a lot of delusion going around.
Federico.
those United fans were very deluded. There was a period where we were just very, very deluded, man. And I think
Bruh.
now we've really humbled ourselves and really like, said, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. We're gonna wait.
yeah,
We've been giving you guys too much credit, without you actually, proving yourself to be the next or whatever you check.
yeah.
So yeah,
And
man,
yeah,
it's
like the gaffer, honestly, the gaffer has not, when it comes to the academy, he
mm,
has really got it spot on since he's been at the club. Because one of the things that he mentioned is that we're not going to bring an academy player into the first team just for the sake of bringing him. Nah, we're not doing that. You need to be ready. People don't understand.
yeah,
You need to be ready
yeah,
first team. It doesn't just work. You don't just waltz in and
exactly.
be part of the first team thing. No. So every player that he
Yeah,
has brought in has actually shown that they're ready to take that next step. And
yeah,
I don't know what it is that he says to them. I don't know. He seems to do a good job with these youngsters because you look at Kobe Mainu. Kobe Mainu is let me not even start with Kobe Mainu because I need to start with Garnacho because he
yeah,
gave Garnacho his opportunity. And you look this season, Garnacho has started so many games. Like, United, I need to say this before, United have been that club that don't really trust youngsters. And I've
yeah,
envied that. It has always pissed me off because I look at other clubs and other clubs do it. You look at
yeah,
basketball, they've got Yamal. You look at Real Madrid, they've got their youngsters there, whatever. Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City,
yeah,
they trust the academy players, like even if they're young,
yeah,
like put him, Oscar
yeah,
Bob, they
true.
trust him. And United, we've not done that in a very, very long time. We've been the club that's very timid. Because you look at now Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham probably didn't come to United because he was avoiding that. He was
Yep,
16. He knew that if he came in there, he was going to chow bench. Nobody wants
yep,
to chow bench. So that is the thing
mm-hmm,
that we always had. And Eric Ten Hag is not shy. I love that
yeah,
about him. He's not shy of putting these kids in and play. Albeit there are some youngsters that we want to see more of them, and he's not putting them in. But if he believes that this youngster is going to add some sort of dimension and energy, puts him in, and that has been a good. And I don't think he has flopped just yet. I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe you can correct me. Maybe there's a youngster that he has bizered with, uh, but so far he's got it spot on.
Yeah,
So it's very
I think
interesting to see. Mm.
yeah, I think so far the players that just integrate into the team, Maybury, Kamwala, Kobe Mainu, Ganacho, who else? Who else am I thinking of
Forsen,
right now?
there was that
Forsen.
Mensa during the preseason.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. I think yeah. So I really think that yeah.
Sholatiri.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Shola.
know. I've been drawing a blank on him as well. I've been wondering like what's his situation? Where is he at? I think because Suarez is a striker, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Either a
Striker
striker
and
or
a
a
top
left winger.
midfielder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. So and I don't think it's yeah, I just don't think it's his time right now, given the players that we already have in those positions. Yeah, and I
Is
don't
he
think
not
he's
older
showing
than
enough.
Garnacho? Or is the same age?
They're probably the same age, probably the same age. But I think
Because
he's I think like you said, if he's attacking midfielder and if he's a striker, I don't think he's going to have any real opportunity breaking into that first team. So that's where I sort of see where he stands right now.
yeah,
So he's probably gonna
Bruno
be in the
Henrique.
academy up until a point where he's probably gonna get sold. So I just don't see any high hopes for him. So yeah, man.